The Promise, Part 1. I had a feeling that there was something wrong when Charles started withdrawing from me. I found it strange since we had been in a committed relationship over 5 years. We were even more in love than we had been when we first confessed to each other. For us to get where we were, it took a lot of sacrifice and tears. At some point, I thought of giving him up just to make my parents happy, but thankfully, I came to my senses and I chose him over my family. It was a difficult choice to make, but it was better for me when the person who loved me despite my flaws than a family could not accept my sexuality. He did not have much of a family though, since his parents passed away and he and his sister were raised in foster care. When we committed ourselves to each other, we made a promise. That was the night when we made love for the first time. "Let us make a vow," he said. "You are not going to make me give you all my snacks, are you?" I cracked a joke. We were always fighting over snacks because he was a snack thief. "No, but that's actually a good idea." "No, that's not it. I want us to promise to be each other's family and do everything we can to make sure we work out," he said. "I promise to always be your family. You cannot get rid of me that easily," I agreed. We had gone through hell to be together, and it would take a storm to bring us apart. Now there seemed to be a storm brewing, but I had no idea what it was because Charles refused to let me know what was going on. He was always lost in his mind and gazing off longingly in the distance. Naturally, I suspected that he was cheating, so I confronted him about it, but my methods might have been too extreme. "Show me your phone," I demanded one day after he came from work. "What? You've got to be joking, are you?" He started laughing. I looked at him until he finished laughing and held my hand out. "There is no way that I'm showing you my phone. I'm tired. I want to rest." "Why are you starting unnecessary drama in the middle of the night?" He rolled his eyes at me. "I deserve to know if my man is cheating on me, okay?" I started tapping my foot, impatiently. He stared at me with a bored expression on his face and did not say anything. "Well, what's it gonna be?" I said. He rolled his eyes and handed me his phone, which had a passcode that he did not usually have. I got him to open it, and I started to go through his messages, but I could not find anything interesting. It was just boring legal jargon and work emails. No people were saved under suspicious names or anything like that, which meant that he was probably not cheating, but he was not entirely off the hook. "Here's your phone. Why are you late coming home tonight?" I said. "I was working late, my gosh. One would think that you were the lawyer and not me. I cannot deal with this. I'm going to get something to eat," he huffed as he walked past me. "I was working late" is the top phrase men use when they cheat on you, you know. "And the food is in the microwave," I shouted, as I got back to the TV to watch a game. He did not reply, which meant that he was mad at me. Nowadays, we were barely happy and I felt as if we were drifting apart. I wanted to know what he was making him toss all night and why we had not been intimate for over 2 months, which was the longest that we had ever had gone, even after 5 years together. We had a healthy sex life, so I failed to see what was going on. I asked him if it was health related, but he said he was perfectly fine, just tired from work. It was a huge knock to my self-esteem because I thought maybe I was not even desirable to him anymore. I tried everything, from giving his hints to arranging romantic nights, but he told me that he was tired or gave me some other excuse. So, of course, the first thing I thought was cheating. Maybe he was getting satisfied elsewhere because I could hardly think of anything. I searched through his drawers, but I found nothing at all. I might have seemed like a mad person, but I was not usually like this. I let him have his privacy and he respected mine. If there was anything that needed the other person's attention, we were transparent. But nowadays, I would catch him jumping with every new text that came into his phone. Yet his explanation was that it was work. Later that night, I felt bad about the way that I had confronted him when he came back from work. "Honey, are you still awake?" I asked. I was met with some very fake snoring, confirming that he was indeed awake. "In the years that we lived together, I had never heard you snore, and now you start?" I asked. He snorted and started laughing, then turned to look at me. "Yes, this better not be about my damn phone again. I adore you, trust me. I'm not cheating," he said, kissing me on the forehead. "I know, but I do not know what you think anymore." "You know I hate secrets," I said. He wrapped his arms around me and brought me closer to him. "Freaking love you, even though you can be annoying, okay?" he said, as he kissed me on the lips. Those words of affirmation settled my thoughts, and for a while, I forgot everything that was stressing me. I kissed him softly and he returned it with as much passion as I. I was so deprived of intimacy I thought I would go mad sometimes when I saw him shirtless. He bit my lip, causing me to gasp, which made him chuckle. I was so in the moment that my hands inched toward his lower half, but then he held my hand back. I huffed and turned away from him. "Brandon, he started. I did not want to go to bed angry, I simply said. I chanted my little chant in my head that I did when I wanted to avoid being angry. He is the love of your life, he is very hot, he is a lawyer, and he would sue you if you broke anything in the apartment. I repeated to myself over and over until I calmed down. Before I turned off the lamp, I turned to look at him. He had fallen asleep, but his forehead was scrunched. I smoothed it out and kissed him on the forehead. The poor man was not even getting sleep these days, and I was probably not helping with my endless tantrums. I promised myself that I would drop the matter and allow him to tell me what was going on when he was ready. The next morning, I did not nag him about what had happened the previous night. I made us both a hearty breakfast and talked about stupid things like the weather with him, since every topic was very touchy at the moment. Hey, are you free tonight? He asked. I think I can come home early since I'm the boss after all, right? I said. Good, I have something to tell you, and I just wanted us to have a quiet night in, he said, holding my hand. Of course, my love. I can get off an hour earlier, so say 7 p.m.? I asked. My employees usually got off earlier than me. I was a workaholic and usually ended up falling asleep at the office. The previous night I had gone home at 9 p.m. only to find that Charles was not there. I had even had time to make food before it came in at 11 p.m. I guess late hours were to be expected since he was a lawyer and I owned my own business. Okay, it is a deal. I have a short day at the firm too. Speaking of, I've got to go, he exclaimed as he looked at his watch. He gave me a quick peck on the mouth and then he was gone. I could barely concentrate though, because I was wondering what he wanted to tell me. I hoped that it was not some bad news though, because things were going really well for us. We had gotten married a year ago in small court ceremony. Much to my best friend Stephanie's chagrin, she would not talk to me for days when she found out. Maybe he wants to get married again, in a ceremony very grand and planned by me? She said, as she started off dreamily. You'll never let go of that, will you? I asked. At least I was invited as a witness. I do not get why the both of you are so simple, though, she rolled her eyes. Maybe he wants to buy a house, I suggested. Yes, that would be very likely. It might be why he's putting up so many hours at work, she agreed. Well, there's no use speculating. Anyways, we have to get back to work. Tell Lena to bring me the report I requested about 30 minutes ago, please, I said. Sure, see you, she said as she left. She helped me a lot with her experience in PR and marketing in the business when I was starting out, and was the person I trusted with my life. The hours seemed to be going by so slowly, probably because I kept looking at the clock. Finally, it was time for me to go home, and I was very anxious. I looked forward to spending the evening together with him since we barely spent any time together lately. When I entered the apartment, I saw that there was a trail of snacks leading up to the living room. When I got there, I found my sweetheart pouring some wine into the glasses that were on the table. Finally, you're here, he said. He had his white shirt sleeves rolled up, which made it difficult to focus on his face. Of course, my love, when you said just a night in together, I figured pajamas and movies. Not that I'm complaining, I added as I kissed him gently on the lips. Plenty of time for that, my love. Tonight, it is our night. I'm so sorry to have been so distant lately. I do love you, and I'm not keeping some dark secret from you. I just did not know how you would feel about this. I know that we decided that it would be just the two of us forever, but yeah, I've been thinking about that. But first, we have to eat. I'm famished, he said. I decided to be patient and allow him to say what he wanted to in his own time because I could see that he was very nervous about whatever he wanted to tell me. We ate our food while bickering, but it was all in good nature. It was like I had gotten him back and the crazy things that had happened in the past few months did not exist. While we were eating, he took both my hands and looked deep into my eyes. I love you. And I love you too. I want a baby, he suddenly said. A baby? Yes, a baby. With you, he said. You do know that we can't, I started. Of course I do. I'm not stupid. There are so many other options, he said. Sorry, I'm just trying to wrap my mind around this. Is this what you've been hiding from me all this time? I asked. Okay, we will discuss the baby later. Babe, this is what had you so stressed? Aw, but you know that you can tell me anything, I continued. Yeah, but when we got together, I knew that you were not a big fan of babies, so I did not think your attitude had changed, he said. But I was barely able to afford taking care of one back then. I wish you had come to me sooner. I know that the whole process is straining, either through adoption or surrogacy. We do have to discuss that, which is why I did not consider it an option back then, I said. And now? We are financially stable, are married, and have a good home. Maybe we do need a little one running around and driving us crazy, I smiled. His eyes lit up with so much joy that my heart warmed. I would do anything for this man, no matter how taxing the whole process was going to be. He would have me with him. I had promised him that many years ago. Babe, do you really want to have a baby with me? You cannot even imagine how happy you have made me. His eyes became teary when he said this. Please do not cry. I know that growing up you only had your sister. I have tried to fill that void of family, but I can only do so much. I will do anything that I can to make sure that we get a baby, no matter the cost or the time that it will take, okay? I said. I do not deserve your love. I'm sorry for being so hectic the past 2 weeks and nagging you all the time, I said, as we made our way to the couch holding hands. You care so much about me, which is why you were going mad. But I still love you, my little firecracker, he said as we cuddled together on the couch. Yeah, I'm sorry for going through your phone. I could barely understand anything that was written. Are you sure your lawyers even speak English? I asked. Thank goodness you did not look through my search history. I wanted to be able to tell you myself. I've been doing some research on the various options that there are for us. Legal stuff, costs, etc. I would love to summarize it to you if you want, he said. You know I find it hot when you talk facts and statistics. I teased only because I love seeing him turn red. Focus, he scolded me. My head was spinning by the end of our discussion. He had considered a surrogate, which was more costly, but we would be involved in the child's birth, plus he would have genes from one of us. However, it was very costly. Luckily, we lived in a green state, which meant that the egg donation and surrogacy were legal. However, there would be medical costs, legal costs, and costs for compensating the donor and the surrogate, of which the process would take at least 18 to 24 months, or even longer than that. It would be the more lengthy route, but Charles had already shortlisted some medical facilities that would make the whole process easier for us. On the other hand, there was adoption, which was easier but not without its rigors. There would be a lot of meetings with social services, interviews with friends, etc. And then we did not know if we would be able to adopt a younger baby or an older one. We had a lengthy discussion over the pros and cons of both options and decided that we would come to a consensus soon. Things got a bit hot and heavy due to him being in such a close proximity to me, and I could not handle the need that I had for him. I had been deprived for so long, therefore all I could think about was his body. I leaned in to kiss him while he was talking about some statistics or something. It was a very hard, passionate kiss where I realized all the tension that I was feeling. He took the lead for once and started to take my clothes off. I don't think I can make it to the bedroom, he whispered. It does seem rather far. It is our house, after all. We're allowed to make love anywhere we want, I growled. We hurriedly took each other's clothes off and got straight to it. It was much more intense than I thought it would be. I missed him so much and it was driving me so crazy. I felt a variety of hotness and coldness as he finally took my body. I guess he was so caught up in the feeling too, because he did not last long. All I said was, I love you, Charles, and he became so undone, taking me with him. We climaxed in a wave of love and passion together. I love you so much, and I cannot wait to start a family with you, he said. I missed you so much. Yes, we're going to have a baby soon, I said. I was thinking more than one, he said. We would need to get a bigger house then, I smiled. Yes, my love, that would be perfect. Now come closer to me, he said, as he started to kiss my neck again, and we commenced our night of passion. Even though we fought like crazy most of the time, there was no one I would rather have in my life than him. To be continued. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to become part of our Rainbow Force, and stay wholesome.